मैं क्या करूँ यार, कुछ और ट्राई करूँ क्या, मेरे को ऐसा लगता था यार, और हम सबको आई थिंक लाइफ में ये टाइम आता है जब आपको ऐसा फील होता है कि यार मेरा क्यों नहीं हो रहा है, कुछ गलत किया क्या मैंने, और आप कुछ और करने लगते हो, आपको कहीं कॉम्प्रोमाइज़ करना पड़ता है। और मेरे डीप डाउन मेरी फीलिंग यही है कि लाइफ में जो चीज़ बहुत ज़्यादा प्यारी लगे ना, जो दिल के बहुत करीब हो, वो करते रहना चाहिए, चाहे उसमें ज़्यादा सक्सेस मिले थोड़ी मिले, लेकिन दिल खुश रहता है।
The year was 2000 and a Bollywood debut that was unprecedented caused shockwaves across the industry. Never did a Hindi film hero look and move like the way he did. His hook step became all the rage and a new star was born in the form of Hrithik Roshan. I instantly gravitate towards actors who can flow and move like a dream, taking the shape of water, becoming the shape of whatever the choreographers want. Hrithik was one such actor who could have the simplicity and grace needed in Bumro and the precision and contortions required in Main Aisa Kyun Hoon. This package of an individual who can move like a dream and act like the part was such a killer combination. And I wondered whether anyone could match or even echo similar qualities as a performer. 3 years later, in came an actor called Shahid Kapoor. Those glued to the TV during the formative years recognized him from the sporadic appearances in advertisements, most noteworthy being his Pepsi ad campaign shared with Rani Mukherjee and Shah Rukh Khan, and otherwise the evergreen music video Aankhon Mein sung by the Aryans. Who knew this backup Shamak Davar dancer could have such a long career? You would imagine that a routine college flick with newcomers would not really cause waves, but there was something special about the leading man that made people assume he's going to be here for the long run. There are some personalities in front of camera that instantly connect with you. It often may be dictated by the creative choices they make or how they simply carry themselves. Rajiv Mathur was an instant hit. Naive, impressionable, undeniably charming, but what really stood out for audiences was how effortlessly Kapoor moved in the songs. The Shamak Davar training and movie star quality was clear in each frame. A romantic tune like Chot Dil Pe Lagi would be performed with the same conviction as Mujh Pe Har Hasina. There was something instantly likable about the guy, despite the toxicity and problematic social tropes the film followed. One would assume that the sky would be the limit for the actor, but what is also consistent with Shahid's career was inconsistency, both with his film choices and their performances at the box office. I often equate following Shahid Kapoor's career to following Arsenal in my life. You've seen the glory days, you see spurts of boundless potential, and you've seen the darkest days as well, where everyone disregards you for ever considering being in contention to be one of the greats. You hold on to this relationship because you acknowledge the potential. You take the blows on your chin and wish and pray he just gets his act together. As is the case with most of Shahid Kapoor's filmography, the highs are followed by a huge lull period. After a stellar debut, movies like Dil Mange More, Fida, Wah Life Ho To Aisi and 36 Chinatown barely caused any waves. What stayed consistent, however, was the exceptional music and choreography in Shahid's filmography. Shahid grooving to Gustakh Dil still is such a classic I often revisit. So much so I remember learning the entire choreography for my primary school function. Aaja Be Mahi in Fida, and just the effortless nature with which he grooved in the club, and even his stint with prime Himesh Reshamya, shaking a leg on Dil Tumhare Bina. I mean, I know my millennial subscriber base is instantly going to shake a leg the moment the hook step of Rock Your Body is going to play at the club. The music and choreography was always a hit. Even with duds like Fool and Final, you had audiences grooving to Ye Duriyan, better known as Shakira Way. But the movies, not so much, until there came a savior many did not expect. Even considered to be one of Shahid Kapoor's biggest hits today, the Suraj Barjatia directed film Vivah was an industry hit. A family entertainer with the Suraj Barjatia Sanskari touch instantly connected with the masses. And who knew that an actor who experienced such lull for consecutive years would have one of the biggest hits of the year? This is the point where Shahid Kapoor garnered critical and commercial success, featuring in the evergreen Jab We Met and my personal favourite Kamine shortly after. People were noticing not only the Shahid Kapoor who could dance and entertain, but who could pull off a spectrum of characters and be taken seriously. While most of the accolades for Jab We Met went to Kareena, Shahid Kapoor, the actor, really got appreciated for his portrayal of Aditya, a walking, talking green flag that has aged like fine wine. Not to forget playing the twins, both with speech impediments with ease, Guddu and Charlie. A slick, dark, no-nonsense thriller The actor extracted from Vishal Bhardwaj had finally taken center stage. As is the case with most of Shahid's life, at the movies, a considerably horrible period continued, stacking up flop after flop, making one really wonder what's going wrong with his choices. Movies like Chance Pe Dance, Pathshala, Mausam and Teri Meri Kahani really made audiences lose faith in the quality of a Shahid Kapoor starrer. And while a film like Badmaash Company showed some promise, it never became a home run. This is the same period where a Ranveer Singh impressed with Band Baja Barat, a Ranbir Kapoor got a blockbuster like Ye Jawani Hai Diwani, and a Sushant Singh Rajput got launched with Kai Po Che. Was it possible that the lineup of launches after Shahid were going to surpass him and he would be crowned as the underdog for life? In wanting to be a part of commercial blockbusters, Kapoor did movies like Phata Poster Nikla Hero and R. Rajkumar, the latter of which garnered quite the box office success. Kapoor still speaks about there being a lack of conviction in his act in this genre of film that is slightly performative and over the top. As is the case with most of his films, the music and choreography is still remembered as one of the finest as Kapoor and Prabhudeva joined forces together. The following year, however, presented Shahid in possibly his most challenging role in the adaptation of Hamlet directed by Vishal Bhardwaj. Not only was his portrayal emotionally riveting but so transformative that through several portions of the film, it was tough to see Shahid in the role of Haider. Deservedly bagging all the awards, Haider was a performance of a lifetime. That's the problem with Shahid and his choices. An exceptional role like Haider would be followed by a colossal failure like Shandar. An extremely volatile and manic portrayal of Tommy Singh in Urta Punjab would be followed by an indulgent and convoluted miss like Rangoon. A film like Padmavat, where Shahid Kapoor put his best foot forward, excelling especially in the several combative sequences shared with Ranveer Singh, the man would be sidelined for his act, with Ranveer taking all the deserved praise, but what was essentially Shahid's best box office performing film would be followed by a dud like Batti Gul Meter Chalu. No one, however, expected him to have such a successful run at the box office with his venture Kabir Singh, absolutely nailing the role of a toxic and constantly on the edge doctor, a talking, walking red flag. Sandeep Reddy Vanga absolutely extracted the worst sides of Shahid and lay him bare for the world to see and judge. There was absolute hysteria regarding Shahid's most successful film as a lead, and one expected that this may be the point where his stardom catapults to a whole new level. And as is the case of Shahid's conscious choices limiting him from reaching stardom, it was fate with the pandemic that limited that gargantuan growth. An exceptional performance of Jersey was barely seen by audiences in theatres, and Shahid with his digital debut hit it out of the park with combining with the ingenious duo of Raj and DK. But I wonder, as Shahid with every project proves himself as a capable lead, what limits him from being the first choice as a romantic lead? What limits him from producers even considering him to be a part of the Ramayana saga? What stops producers to think about him as the new Don? What stops people from integrating him in the YRF spy universe? Because he is never the choice for such considerations. Even after spending more than 20 years in the industry, a privilege that he is still getting work and is relevant, but the actor is still associated with the underrated tag. An amalgamation of poor creative choices and not positioning himself as a commercial lead? Maybe. Even though his lineup isn't as exciting as others who cling onto the franchises developing everywhere, one wishes the actor gets a third or fourth wave of consistency and finally be considered in the big leagues. It's about goddamn time.